Hello, everybody. It is Friday, September 12th, 2025, 5:29 p.m. on the Pacific Coast out here in Chico, California. My name is Derek Ahlswede. I am the founder of the Ahlswede Collection podcast network, and you are listening to the Living Directors podcast. I'm the co-host of this show with the phenomenal Amy D. We are discussing every episode from season 27 of South Park. This is episode 4, Walk is Dead. Now, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, the creators of South Park, brilliant writers, two of my favorite on the planet, have been focusing on Donald Trump this season exclusively and the Christian right and their support of him. It's been brilliant writing, but now we are in the middle of something that feels very dark. Episode 2, called Got a Nut, was in large part about Charlie Kirk. I do not know if that episode is even up on Paramount Plus anymore. We did an episode on it, if you'd like to listen. But here we are, a few days after his being shot and killed in broad daylight, and the online right, as well as the presidency and everything in between, was going through a dark period. The killer has been arrested, but today I was browsing around those same online right circles, and they don't think that things are adding up. It's convoluted, it's messy, in large part we should just stay away from it. We should just stay offline, honestly. And you know, it's my goal and endeavor to create this network and multiple shows, and I'm making strides personally with the network and improving week by week, month by month. And it involves being online a lot. And some shows, including this one, get very political. I myself, for the past decade, ever since Trump went down the escalator, have been commenting on not just him, but his American supporters. Been doing it for a decade now. I addressed this a little bit on the pod, and I want to get to the episode, but I'll just say that I personally want to evolve from this. I stand by the necessity and importance of getting down in there on the internet with voices that are dangerous and destructive and combating them. And I'm open to any and all criticisms if I've done anything wrong along the way, or if I have said anything that was incorrect or malicious in itself. But for the most part, getting down there in the internet trenches with the Trump world has been not just worthwhile, but a necessary thing to do in my eyes. I will stand by my actions. But something changed with this killing of Kirk, in that I don't see the benefit, not to myself, but to the public, whether it's the small local public here or across the country. I don't see the benefit of battling anymore. I need to now channel my passion and whatever capabilities I have, my time, my energy, into something far more profound and human and unifying. Now, my argument is that's what I have been doing. You have to attack bad ideas in order to create unity, but I don't know that getting down on that level is the way to go moving forward. I posted something yesterday that basically boiled down to F you. F you if this is what you believe. F you if this is what you like. And no matter how true it is, no matter if it's important to combat malicious, destructive ideas on the internet, I'm done. I'm done. It's time to rebuild my own efforts and voice into something far better. Okay, let's get to season 27, episode 4 of South Park. Walk is dead. If there's anything in this episode that I need to think about further, take a step back and change my mind, I will be thrilled to do so. Because a true sign of intelligence and benevolence is to look forward to finding out that you're wrong and to not be certain that you are so right. Welcome to the Living Directors Podcast. My name is Derek Ahlswede.
I'm Amy D.
And we are here to discuss Walk is Dead, Season 27, Episode 4.
Wait, it's called Walk is Dead?
Yeah.
That is so interesting. Because all I could think of, today is the 11th of September.
Yeah.
And yesterday, I don't want to disparage any sort of things, but yesterday Charlie Kirk was shot. And I could not stop but thinking of the episode with Cartman where it was like, woke is dead.
Right.
And so here we are with Walk is Dead. And I know that this aired like last week. So It's not as if it's in connection to that. But there, with Charlie in South Park, being in South Park, literally, on the show, it's almost impossible to disentangle or untangle the two, not in a way that perhaps the religious right is trying to do, but they are, like for better or worse, like he acknowledged he was featured and let's start there. There's so much we could say. I'm being kind of zen about this. It's nice to have slept on it a little bit and to not go off into a million angles and address A through Z that's out there in the internet sphere. You're just sticking with Z, which is
right. But there was an episode called Got a Nut, episode 2. We have an 80-minute podcast on it if anyone's interested in listening to it.
Sure do. I
sent you an article earlier that said that Paramount and Comedy Central removed the episode. I just went to Paramount Plus and it's still there. So who knows? If it's not there and you want to watch it, then you can at least go listen to our podcast. I guess I was a little torn about like promoting something that has to do with somebody's death, but whatever. It's information. It's content that might be very interesting to you, so you can listen to it. That's I just want to say about on a personal production note. Did you have something?
Well, I think that's... Look, you don't want to sink to the lowest common denominator, but it's like very ironic that you would have issue with profiting. Not even that there's profit, but like that was the entire trajectory of some careers out there. Let's just put it like that.
And no, yeah, we don't need to pussyfoot around anything. I mean, no one here celebrates murder in any way. We don't need to worry about, I don't think, what we want to talk about today.
No, I think we're both, not like anti-gun, but definitely, or not anti-second, but just, I think gun violence is an issue, and we can both acknowledge that openly. And
well, before we get to the episode, I'm wondering if I should talk on a personal level about what happened today for a minute.
Yeah.
And I, believe it or not, some people might laugh at this. I kind of hate talking about myself. I'm not big on this. But a lot of this stuff hit home in a weird way for me yesterday. I went back to college late, got an English degree, came back to my hometown about 10 years ago. I don't remember when Charlie came on the scene. He's only 31, but I should have researched this. It's probably been close to 10 years, at least 5.
I saw one of his old interns talking about like the things she was being asked to do during the Clinton election. So that would have been 2016.
Oh, gotcha. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect timing. Okay. So when I came back from college at Chico, instead of, maybe trying to write a book or whatever, I've found my time best spent in writing sincere and thorough posts, right? And some people, would maybe mock that, like, what are you doing, Derek, you loser, why are you wasting your time, blah, blah. But I saw the real value in it in this modern age, and this is the run-up to Trump, so we're talking 2014, 2015.
Right.
So I saw the writing on the wall, right?
Yeah.
And in a way, it kind of culminated in yesterday. There's been plenty of moments, I guess, that what the Trump ecosphere represents in these kind of pivotal points where, I knew this was going to happen. Whether it's ICE or farmers, I don't know. Anyways, let me try to gather my thoughts. I'm going to try not to.
You saw the trajectory.
Yeah. So I started posting thoroughly and smartly and kindly, but also harshly. And this was on an old Facebook account that I ended up deleting, but it actually had a lot more engagement, a lot more traction even than what I have now. And what I would get a lot, and this is a little more recently, was that like, hey, Derek, because we are in a conservative community, you're the smartest liberal I've ever met. Or I've never heard a liberal kind of explain things like you.
Sure.
And then more recently, I get compared to Charlie Kirk pretty often by people who know me as Charlie Kirk of the left. Like, oh, Derek, I'd love to see you debate Charlie Kirk. Or, like, it's funny how often I've heard that over the years. And so it just felt like one of those, like, look, I have a tiny little platform with a few thousand followers, and he has a mountain of a platform, right? So obviously there's no comparison there. But just, I guess, like, on a human level, like, I've always felt compared to this guy over the last 5 years or so. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know what my point is. I guess it gave me really weird emotions yesterday.
Well, first of all, congratulations. He's a good 12 years younger than you. So right. That's awesome on a personal aesthetic level. I noticed a lot of heat coming towards the dudes, the debaters, right? Like Hassan, and there's Dean, I think is one of his names.
Yeah, he's a popular dude. Yeah.
They're losing traction because the sentiment, not so much Hassan. I think he kind of will debate anybody, but there is a whole economy set up around the debate sphere, and the same reason that people sort of shit on politics is the same reason they sort of are going to start shitting on the debate sphere, which is like, you're doing this for money and you guys are all friends. And on some level, it's like, yeah, of course they are. There's a handful of people that do this for a living that people are willing to pay, or the colleges are willing to pay to come out and see people speak.
They're filthy rich.
They're filthy.
Yeah.
Right. But it's like, I'm sure there's many more people who would like to do that than have the honor or privilege of being able to do it. So there's something to what they're doing, right? So I'm not trying to take that away. But and of course, you can only relate with so many people. If I'm a lawyer, if I'm a defense lawyer, it's not as if I'm not talking to the prosecutors. I'm probably getting lunch or drinks with them. So it's this idea of sides. This comes back to I erased something I was about to send to you yesterday, where it's there's this really low manifestation of the way people look at sides, which is they're both the same. Both sides are the same. And it's no, the higher manifestation of that is that we are all one, and all of it works together. And the point is that we're trying to create a better thing. Yeah. And so that being said, I think a lot of the stuff that some of the major debaters, especially that the internet promotes, the reason, and I've been folly to this as well. I understand what makes people pop on the internet. Right. You're saying polarizing things, and even if you're saying them incredibly intelligently or whatever, you're saying things other people are afraid to say. Right. You're explaining it in a way that the average person maybe doesn't have the vocabulary or the mentality to say on their own, and you might even have some nuance on that. So if you understand, if you have all that and you have kind of like maybe an attractive face and you understand the way like the culture works and the way the internet works and algorithms favor certain I mean, like there's just a lot of different nuance to what made him so successful on the internet. That being said, a redux of his main points, absolutely disgusting.
Yeah. And look, and that's what I guess we can pass on this podcast is getting the details of, you know, his philosophies or like the hypocrisies here by his fans and all that stuff. I think, you know, him not wanting people to be empathetic, all that stuff.
Sure.
The bit of empathy I want to reach out on is I get what it's like to lose a public figure whom you think is incredibly valuable to this world.
Right.
Okay. So details aside, like, and that's why I like
Tupac.
Kind of jokingly compared him to Tupac, but I'm kind of not. Just in the terms of the way that he touched people, like his young fans.
Right.
Like, so that's where I even get chills thinking about it now because the feeling of that loss is essentially the same.
Right.
So that's why no one's fucking gloating like I've been accused of or whatever else horrible things. Some stuff that I received yesterday, DMs and otherwise. Words that I didn't say. But anyways, I sympathize with that, and I find a mutual love and understanding with like, I get what it's like to lose somebody that you thought was immensely important to this world, and that's I think all I want to say about that. Should we move on to the episode?
The last thing I'll say on that is it's gotten me thinking a lot about how, cause my mom and I were talking about this and she's a boomer. And so her opinion is like, people should be able, obviously free speech, you know, should be able to say what they want to say. And she's right. But it's like, I had to sort of go over it and it's like, well, if the things that she directly has complained about with the current state of the world, I go, those ideas got turned into action through power. And so they're not just ideas anymore. They're things that have resulted in immense power grabs, immense world change, for better or worse. The world is a different place than it was a year ago. At least everywhere, honestly, but in the United States, as I can speak from direct experience. And, we also live in in 2015, when he started or when he was getting popular, the world was different in that people had kind of recovered from the 2008 mortgage bullshit, and there was not really poverty at this level that currently exists. There's not so much unemployment. I'd say that hopelessness is like really at an all-time high. And just, if there's anything Breaking Bad taught us, is that like a man with nothing to lose is a dangerous motherfucker. And there's a lot of my tinfoil hat that I will leave out of this podcast that I have thoughts about what's going on. But what point being, it's a dangerous time. You have to at least understand and appreciate the laws of physics, which is for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. And like, it's not to say that everyone should be worried and on notice at all times, but there's a potential that you will hit the wrong motherfucker on the wrong day, and then they will do something out of pocket for even them, and then you will be the target. I mean, it's just everyone has to sort of be more aware of the pressure cooker that we are culturally in right now, and that we are also one of the most armed nations on a civilian level, like in the world, maybe the most. I can't think of anyone more than. Yeah. So it's like everyone. I mean, and
gun deaths, and there's 117 gun deaths today in America. It's off the charts.
Rad. Like we are out of control. So and that's just so people's conditions are only like getting worse by the hour, and that doesn't mean it's gonna always be on that trajectory, but right now that's where we are, and it just makes it a different sort of time to have free speech. So you have to be like, I don't have to go to jail for saying this, but will someone take what I'm saying the wrong way? Maybe not take it with a grain of salt, possibly. And
you have to have no fear in that regard if you get in this space, even at our level.
Sure.
Yeah. And there is something kind of, you got to tap into like some type of bravery, whatever tier we're talking about here. On his point, or his level, like Yeah, man. I mean, you got to think, once you get that gigantic and that powerful, what kind of security detail did he have? I mean, you would think it'd have to be like presidential at this point, right?
Well, you'd think with the way that he was constantly like associating with the people, you think that he would have more I think that was shocking. My mom on a personal level was shocked at like how his team handled it. Like they didn't wait for medical and I get why. They were probably like, look, in a split second, I'm not blaming anybody. People do what they're going to do in an emergency, and that's what it is. So but it was a wild trip. And I did find out that it was just a few months ago that Utah made it so there was open carry or concealed carry
for 18-year-olds on campus.
Yeah.
No, and that's when we get into hypocrisy and irony and all that, but we can.
I don't even want to get. I'm just saying, it's like, God, man.
What I will say, you mentioned tinfoil stuff. I mean, the fact is that we don't know what happened, so anything is possible, including some conspiracies that maybe in the past sounded insane. That especially after the Trump quote unquote assassination attempt before, are not so insane anymore. So again, we'll leave that aside for now. But
we just don't know anything.
Anything's possible. What did I want to say off of that? I forget. Oh, well, maybe we can move on.
Do you want to talk about Labubus?
Actually, let me pause for a second because I want to say one more thing. I can edit this out. Fucking conspiracy.
They do have a picture of the guy. They have what they're saying is the guy.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I forget what I was gonna say. So,
sorry to take you out of your voice.
I mean, did you see the video of the dudes doing their arm signals and touching hats? And shit? Yeah, there's some stuff.
Look. Okay, you can cut this out, but you can just look at what he was talking about. There was someone that asked him a question about gun violence, mass shootings, and it's like, yeah. In my mind,
which he always talked about, like black people in gangs,
right? But in my mind, I'm like, okay, so that's when you do it, right? Like when he starts talking about, I'm just like, if I was to have an operation, I'd be like, okay, that's guy one. Exactly. He's gonna talk about that. Guy two is gonna do signals. Guy three is gonna shoot, get the fuck out of there, and guy four is gonna pretend to be the one that you know what I mean, like
a perfect sniper hit in the artery, like from 200 yards, blah blah blah. Yeah, anyways,
whatever you want to say about that guy was a professional. Now whether he was acting alone, whatever, like it's just like very clear. And I think here's what's interesting about the internet: it's impossible to deny that. What?
Fire moment.
The pattern recognition of those who know history. It's tough.
It's hard not to talk about that stuff for a long time. Okay. I still want to pause for a second. Okay, Labubus.
I think it's fair.
Okay.
Okay.
So, I was going to say Christian conservative Trump voters, but you go.
I was going to say you saw the article from Jezebel, right?
I don't think so.
Oh, witches.
Oh my God.
Were hired in the last week to curse.
Which is a silly coincidence.
Is it?
To me. But there's a lot out there, and maybe we will have another episode where we go down all those.
I'm not even trying to go on a rabbit hole. I'm just saying it's like, here's what I'll say about that. Is that if someone is at the point where they're like, first of all, someone could have read that and been like, now's the time. Right? Sure. If we're going to get super in the weeds. But it does have a nice segue into the Labubu of it all.
Sure. Okay. Let's get into the episode. I'm sure this will come up more as we talk about this episode. Okay. Walk is dead. We have our Labubus. We have our teen girl. I wrote down teen girl consumer culture. Does that strike a chord at all, or am I way off?
I mean, that's basically what the entire capitalist market is driven toward.
Okay,
teen girls, yeah. Okay. That's why it's always really important that teen girls like what you're doing.
Interesting. Okay. And we can scoot through these until we really find something that we want to hit on, because some of this stuff isn't necessarily a ton to unpack. Jesus is our counselor. I think this is the first episode where he's the actual counselor.
Yeah, I think so.
We have Red and Butters. So Red is Butters' crush. Red comes up to him, invites him to her birthday, her Labubu I don't want to say fetish, but kids, but her Labubu
obsession.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Is introduced.
It was so cute though when Butters was like, I think she wants to have me over and I can like see her. In my mind, I was like, Butters gets it. Like if she invites everyone to the party, then like she'll get the Labubu she wants because just like a statistic thing. But he's like, I think she likes me, man.
Well, that's the only boy she invited, right?
Oh, I don't know, but I
so.
just Butters is kind of like one of the girls, you know.
That's so funny. I just saw some post about like it was a bisexual dude. He's like, girls, if you hate men, try a bisexual guy for like it's. I think like it's on the same note. As that, like girls, like the guys who are like kind of effeminate are like the best ones to marry or something.
Yeah.
Like anyways,
absolutely.
So that's Butters.
Yes.
He goes to the shitty pop-up. So just to clarify, I forget if I explained the title. Walk is Dead is of course the play on Woke is Dead, but now we introduce this kind of Chinese theme because we get into tariffs in China. I predicted a tariff episode in episode 3. I was one off. Came in episode 4. Shitty Walk. It's how it's like the owner of, it was a restaurant, Chinese restaurant. He was kind of the Chinese American stereotype to riff jokes off of for South Park. Now this has been changed into a shitty pop-up that sells Labubus, and this is an opportunity to really talk about tariffs a bit. Chinese tariffs specifically. The Labubus are $85. The specific dollar amounts were kind of funny to me. And then the nature of this, how to get the Labubu you want is you just have to take a risk, buy these mystery packages. Later it's like the claw machine. So it's just all this like, I wrote down.
Speaking of the 2008 mortgage crisis,
I wrote down Trump's con economy.
Yeah.
And
Trump steaks, you mean?
But this, it's like, hey, it's just such an ugly kind of consumer environment.
Well, it's insidious, but I think we were talking about this earlier, where it's like, you know, with the other things that are like gotta have them all, right? You at least know what you're getting. I mean, the things that used to be like in a pack where you wouldn't know what they were like baseball cards. So you're paying like
sure
$8 or something. It's not like some crazy amount of money, and that's exist.
Yeah, the mystery boxes or whatever have existed, and they in themselves aren't like a horrible thing. It just seems like this is like, now this is the standard and this is the only option.
Well, it's like a trifecta of like tariffs. Not only that, foreign tariffs. So like, I don't understand Chinese tariffs. Do you? Like completely? I don't understand how much we should be. I mean, like they try to make it transparent, some of the companies, but I don't know what that actually is gonna.
It's always been a point of debate. At least that's like the most I can give to the current situation is like, you know, people have their different economists and presidents have their different philosophies on this thing. This current one is pretty clearly like, seems like an inside job to destroy America, but
yeah. No, for sure. And then we have we have the little teen. It's more than a trifecta. We've got the little teen girls. We have them, and also on top of that, we have the TikTok influencer influencing the mystery box economy. And you have this idea of you got to collect them all. And there's just a lot of things that make this sort of irresistible to someone. And I feel, and that there's only so many of them, and they have fake ones on them, and they look like little demons, you know. There's a bunch of really exciting.
And they're incredibly popular in real life. That must be.
By boys and girls.
Yeah. The person I'm spending time with, she has Labubus. She likes them.
Age reveal, you know. Go on.
Frontal lobe fully developed. Okay.
I believe that you know what you're doing, Derek. There's not a damn thing I'm questioning about that. You're not stupid.
I love doing this pod with you. Okay. Trump's summit with Satan. So we have a subplot B from the episode. Trump and Satan.
Is this where Fox News chimes in?
Oh yeah, Fox News comes in. They're all very gossipy, wondering if Trump is fucking Satan.
Right. So there's a double entendre there though, where it's like he's fucking Satan, like they're making love, and there's also like he's fucking Satan.
Oh, he is fucking Satan.
Yeah, he's fucking Satan.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, oh, that's what they're doing with this, is he's fucking Satan, and they're just saying it like in a way that
And the kind of cultural analysis here is like, this is Fox News reporting, quote unquote, like just the absolute absurdity of the skewed reporting. I mean, the comparisons between, you know, MSNBC and Fox News over the years, that usually conservative people, when they kind of don't have a good argument, are like, oh, it's all the same, it's all the same. It's just so not. And again, that takes a long time to break down. But there's kind of like an academic approach to journalism, and then there's the stoke fears to get ratings approach to journalism. Well, there's
opining
quote unquote,
on both sides, right? And that's where I think people go, like, the news is not the news anymore, because it's a lot of just like, but also it's like, yeah, they're opining about vastly in the ways they are opining is so different.
Right. So the reporters on the airplane tarmac just going nuts over the gossip.
It was Trump interesting, though, that, like, they like Satan on Fox News. Like, I mean, like, we know that, but, like, Fox News is, like, very, quote-unquote, Christian, and so it's interesting.
The irony. A lot of irony in the Christian conservative world. Sorry if that is a harsh thing to say, but I want to talk a lot about that.
Just go to a mega church, you know what I'm saying? Like, you'll figure it out. It's not great.
We will touch more on that. I think maybe that's what I forgot earlier, is that, like, this is a season about Christian conservatives. And let's not lose sight of that.
Both on South Park and, like, in the real world. We're in a season. It's actually crazy to, like, go from the world that we've been sort of building for the last 20 years. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, fuck. Mm-hmm. It's not great, guys, but we're back.
And that's directly tied into Charlie Kirk. He was the preeminent Christian conservative voice for young people and you know and the middle-aged and older Republican powers that be saw that, and therefore he was and took advantage of that and fed him plenty of money, and he became an incredibly valuable asset, if not the most valuable political asset in the country.
Hitler got into power because of the speakers, right? Like the speaker technology of speakers being made available at that time. And the internet is what I used to refer to as, like, Trump speaker, but really it's like Charlie Kirk is Trump's speaker, you know, like, say what you will.
And then with that fact, if we want to mildly circle back to our tinfoil hat therapies, therapies, some potentially very sinister stuff at play here in the Trump world.
I mean, oh man,
he is a mobster. That I keep going back to. He's a mobster. What do mobsters do?
Right.
They do whatever they need to do that benefits them.
And I just look at it like, who's scheduling his tour? You know, like, how did they get him in Utah? Like, where these facts are known about camp? It's just like there's a lot of things where it's like,
damn.
Yeah, there's just a lot of things where it's like that. A lot of things had to go right for things to go wrong.
Okay, so we're at a school meeting.
Right, Labubu. Got it. Back to TikTok and Labubu.
Cool. Honestly, this pod's going exactly how I want it to.
Okay.
We're at a school meeting with Jesus the counselor and some of the staff. They're talking about the Labubu problem. Oh, we didn't mention, like, you know, girls are getting into fistfights in the halls over the Labubus, right? So they're at a school meeting, and there they discovered their Labubu.
Has it turned from obsession to possession?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just making sure that we're on that page.
Replace the O with the P, or wait, I don't know how to spell. The Labubu TikTok comes up. They're watching this girl, and it turns demonic pretty quickly.
Yeah.
In real life, many in the Christian conservative group genuinely do think that Labubus are demonic. This is a real thing. This isn't something South Park made up.
No, I know that. Okay, well, one of my favorite, like, internet clips of all time is the pastor talking about how all the Pokemon cards are demonic. And how they're actual demons, and it's usually like ex-Satanists who are, anyways, they're very funny because they take it very seriously, and they truly they mean what they're saying. And I mean, whatever, there's a little bit of reality to their spiritual, like, whatever, rhetoric. But it is not lost on me the times we are living in, and then that like it's just a coincidence of nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
But we do live in like a highly occultic time, and the 80s was when Satanic Panic happened. When I'm currently reading a book right now about this cult that like began in Europe and like whatever, and like now is in Argentina in the 80s, and it like kind of follows its like lineage and history. And it's the dark cult, you know what I mean? So it's like there is a reality to the dark arts and all that kind of stuff. Now, did the Labubu's turn us demonic? Or do we live in a demonic time where the Labubu's just fit in? It's like...
Well, sure, yeah. Let's talk about the cult of personality, and idolatry is the word that comes to mind.
Yeah.
I don't know much about the whole false idols thing in the Bible.
I mean, it's anybody but God.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Pretty
So
simple.
there's, again, a bit of pretty severe irony within the Christian conservative circles is that, to me, there's such a small step between worshiping Jesus and then worshiping a human being here on earth, even though that's very clearly not what you're supposed to do, according to the book. Well, so there's the kind of the Trump worship, the Charlie Kirk worship, and the point here is that people are putting so much of their emotion, personality, intellectual kind of trust, answers to the secrets of the universe, quite literally, like into these people. So, and I just want to say is that the left is far better at not doing that. Like, sure, did Obama have a little cult of personality? A little. I loved the guy. Like I was a big fan. He got me excited. I was in my late 20s when that happened. So that also kind of matters too, like what age you are in terms of how you react to
and
these
look
things.
at Kirk's fans.
Right. Exactly. So, but the way that the right and the Christian right really just like puts their all into these individuals instead of into ideas, instead of into like policy and action, like. It's like it's all about the person, it feels, instead of the policy.
So I never knew Jesus in real life, but I can pretty much guess by everything I understand about his life is that he would have never wanted anybody to worship him. He would have wanted them to... That's why it's very interesting that South Park School Elementary uses him as a counselor. Mm-hmm. He's not the principal. He's not, you know what I mean? Like he's the counselor. And so he's someone that you're supposed to contemplate with. It's not, and so, but it's human beings in our fallen nature that want to worship things. So it's not even Trump's fault that we worship. Trump loves it. So like, right? I mean, I can't, and he leans in and then like, there's like a whole feedback loop that happens, but that is us. I mean, not us, but that's
Do you think that's kind of predominantly a problem on the right?
Nah,
I do.
Look, okay, I think that the left...
Let's not mention, it's also the idolatry of CEOs, of the richest amongst us.
Yeah.
It's that stuff. The left does not do that.
I think the left is more anti-authority. The right likes to think of itself as anti-authority, but the right, I don't think, understands itself the way other people see it.
Right.
And so I think that's the kindest way I can describe what's going on in the right is they don't have a very good self-concept of who they are because they're not wielding hypocrisy in a way that's like, it makes me more powerful. If anything, the people on the right want to be truthful, want to be good, right? That's what, but they have been misled.
They're a bit lost. We all are lost in our own ways. Reality is a mystery. It's like, I get it. We're all allowed to be lost, and
that's where Jesus is supposed to come in with the shepherd, right? But unfortunately, the way that like the prosperity gospel has sort of shaped the church, and this is not every church because all churches are like different, but the way that Jesus is wielded as a mascot and the way that certain it has a lot to do with how the pastor wants to run his church. So it's pretty major, and because they're like, they're not supposed to you're supposed to follow government rules, but as far as I know, and I could be wrong, but it's like you're not supposed to be led by man, you're supposed to be led by God. But when man is posing as God, much like a wolf in sheep's clothing, right? Like it, and you don't have incredible sharp discernment because you've been kind of led your whole life. It's like the bait and switch is sort of less obvious. Do
you recall there's one poem that Trump has recited over this last decade?
I do not.
About the wolf. We got to look it up. It's like the script is like in plain sight so many times. I often think that, and this is the thing with these kind of modern Christian conservatives. You point out like, dude, you guys are actually nothing like Jesus. Jesus is nothing like you. There's like that kind of weird hypocrisy. And then to me, it does kind of feel like, in their terms, the devil is taken over. He's infiltrated the religion.
Damian Eccles reminds me in a lecture I heard him give recently that the Bible was a book written by kings for kings,
right?
Originally, and so of course it's going to have a lot of like king worship and who,
right?
Again, not all Christians. There's many different sects that have come since like, Egypt and all that, and predating Egypt even. But the point is it was not for like your everyday farmer,
right?
That was paganism, to be totally honest with you.
Oof, so much to go off of here. Okay, let's get back on track to the episode. Butters is back at Shitty Pop-Up. The Labubu mystery box is now $120 a day later. Yeah,
Butters is the best mark. Like they could not have had a better mark than Butters.
He just wants a girlfriend, really, right?
Yeah.
He's just a good guy. He's an innocent, young, white male in America that just wants a girlfriend.
I kind of liked though that they had him talk about like. They had him kind of get a little bit sexy with the redhead, like, and he's like, I'll find out if her hair matches her bush or whatever, because I think they did that because I think they do want you to, or like up until now, Butters has sort of been one of the girls, or like just this little, and it's like, no, Butters is like a teenager, and
we're getting into some slightly weird territory with purported elementary school kids or junior high kids talking about stuff, but whatever.
I mean, they do. It's like, does art imitate life? Or does,
tariffs are not fair, Butters says, having this conversation with the owner of
Here, Butters.
Shitty Pop-Up. This is when the claw machine is introduced. The wife of the owner, I'm sorry if they have names. I didn't look at that. She's arguing with her husband, saying, you bring bad fortune. She's kind of critiquing his conniving capitalist ways, and his thing is like, hey man, this is the hand we've been dealt with tariffs. Like, I got to do what I got to do. I'm reacting to tariffs. So I guess it's an example of how the ball rolls downhill with this whole tariff thing. Like, now people got to change their habits, and as if capitalism wasn't sinister enough potentially, it's like it's just even more so now.
Again, it's not capitalism. It's like not money. It's the love of money. It's the putting the love of money above your love of your fellow man or your brother or sister or whatever. It's like money is not inherently bad. Like, value is what it really represents. Well, unfortunately, like, we live in a world where that has been what's the word I'm looking for? Perverted.
I guess like the ways in which we can go about profiting off of others or capitalizing off of others.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's the love of money. Yeah, that's...
So those behaviors, it's like we have to...
And then once you start, there's like a momentum.
Right,
yeah. Right. Like you're saying, they're going downhill.
That's why I don't care about making money. It's just too... I don't want to capitalize off anyone. Right, Amy?
Sure.
Just kidding. We'll make money on the pod.
No. It's tough though, because it's like it's hard to be driven by some, like, I don't really want for a ton, and I don't really like need to go on like expensive like luxury vacation. The things that I want out of this world are like stability, as far as like I want my PG&E paid, and what I mean, like I want that to make sure there's money for that. But like I'm not looking for luxury items. I think that most people, in fact, in this current economy are just looking for that. So it's like the idea that there are people out there, causing themselves either tremendous debt or just like billionaires, which they're in tremendous debt too. Like, how do you think you make that kind of money? You know, so it's like, we live in a weird time, Derek.
I think we'll get a billionaire episode here.
Probably.
Okay, we
A
have
king.
the parent, kids. So, there's the girls that were fighting, and their moms have a meeting with Counselor Jesus. The Labubu dark ritual.
Okay, so the darkness of the meeting with Jesus, of him saying like just take away their phones, like just get rid of TikTok, and they're like, we can't do. Have you ever had that? Is real, and that
I've worked in Chico Unified for 9 years, and I was perpetually saying this to every principal, teacher, etc. What are we doing allowing phones in classrooms? But sorry.
No, but that's just the thing is you can't, and to me, it's like when you want to talk about a quote demonic presence, like that's the demonic presence, is they can't relinquish their phones. Like they feel naked without their phone. It's like, have you ever tried to do that with a 10 or like a 13-year-old girl? Did
you send me the clip of, it was like some pastor talking about the false worship and it had to do with technology?
No, but
okay, there's a really good clip out there about
that. No, like that's a lot of technology. Look, what they're
is this the mark of the beast or something?
Well, technology is just sort of like knowing the mark of technology is intellect without. Okay, let me go back.
Okay.
In theory, our heart and mind work as one. Mm-hmm. Technology sort of gets that out of sync because it lets our minds move faster than our hearts, which is maybe a familiar thing if you think about the current landscape of the world that we live in. And that's not to say everyone, but a lot of people want to have like an intellectual, I owned you. But it's like at the end of the day, like that's like it's a world where people don't believe in empathy, right? Like, who cares about your fellow dude? Like, you just want to make sure that you have your money and this is taken care of and this and that and the other. So it's like...
You have your followers.
Yeah, you've got you have your animal nature handled. And when you're in your intellect, also, not everyone is gifted with the same intellect. Not everyone is born with the same amount of understanding or ability to expand in various ways. And so it gets people out. There's no more, the herd is lost with intellect, right? Because some people stand out. And then once someone is smarter than someone else, there begins the process of taking advantage of someone else. So if like Peter Thiel, like...
I posted something on Game Theory that talked about this today.
Okay, yeah. Fascinating. Right. Yeah. And so once you have an edge on someone, you've unleveled the playing field. Obviously, that's the edge.
Right.
And cheating, right? And like so let's look at Palantir. Palantir can effectively, it says it can predict the future, although that's why I think it's demonic, because it's like it's only using this like closed circle of what's happened before and not allowing for anything new to happen, which is that's like the miracle of life, is that we don't have to act in the ways that we've acted before. And that's why I think technology is ultimately dark, because it always relies on the past. When in reality, people can change in a moment.
There is some very interesting scientific data on free will and potentially our lack of it.
Right.
That one of the really the most difficult topics for me to talk about historically, like the concept that we may not have it is insane to me. But
I would say talk to anyone who's been like super addicted to drugs and decided one day to not take them anymore, various degrees. I would just say that person has, and it's possible that they all of a sudden just, that was in their own personal algorithm to like give it up after 20 years of like taking drugs on the street. But I would also say like, that's pretty crazy.
I will say that, upon being introduced to some of those studies, my reaction was like, oh really? Okay, fine. I won't do shit. If I have no control, if this is I'm being guided, or if this is already written or something.
Yeah, I don't like that.
And then here I am today.
No, but I don't like that shit. Because I was just I was at a brunch with ladies this weekend, and we were talking about the presence of souls in human beings, and how when you meet two children that are from the same family, I'm sure you and your sister were like this, where it's like same parents, same whatever, but like, whoa, there are some different wildly different kids. Like even if 2 and 8, it's like they're not even like age difference. It's like, and it's not birth order. It's like when you meet one when they're like 2.5, and so there's this idea in psychology of tabula rasa, which is we're just born in this world blank slates. And we're like, there's just no way that's true. And then the conversation kind of evolved into, well, like any woman could tell you that. And then it's like, well, who wrote the fucking study on tabula rasa? It was some like European dude scientist back in like the 40s. I don't even know. Maybe it was later than that. But it's like all these studies are done by dudes. And I will just say that it's possible that the studies, if they weren't studies, maybe there are things that aren't studied, Derek, that are true.
Okay, my mind's blown right now. Okay, back to the Labubu Dark Ritual. The kids need a rare one. The parents know that. Oh yeah, the parents know that they need a rare one to conduct these dark rituals. So the parents know that they're conducting dark rituals and they're okay with it. Jesus is obviously shocked by that. And
the casual Satanism of that they portrayed this culture was incredible.
They mentioned a name, Kelly Miller, who's like the Labubu TikTok girl.
Okay.
They casually mentioned that she hanged herself. I don't know if you missed that part.
Is that true? I wasn't sure if that was...
It's just a character in the show.
But
it's like she's the one that they watched the TikTok of at the beginning. So it's revealed that she hanged herself.
Yeah. Oh, right. Do you have kids?
That was so funny, asking Jesus if he has kids. I don't know why that's so funny to me.
Yeah. He does not.
Remember we just bizarrely, coincidentally talked about like those who don't have kids on last episode and how they kind of have a more clear judgment of social issues because people who do have kids get kind of insular and bubbled. Yeah. And protecting just their family. You have a lot
more free will when you don't have kids. Right. Now you're not having a kid, which I guess sucks, but you can leave your job. You can do a lot of things you couldn't do.
There's just an irony of like quote unquote people like us in the ways that we're similar. And like how we're so much closer to who Jesus was than Christians that take ownership over him.
Yeah. I don't think Jesus owned a Labubu, to be honest. Saying. So I mean, I'm like him in that way.
Okay, we're back to Fox News. Tariffs is Trump fucking Satan. We get a little Sean Hannity cameo. They're spotted on the golf course. Where most wealthy satanic decisions are made. Let's be honest. Wealthy white guys, rich white guys. They're
not
fucking
just white guys. It's a rich dude thing.
I know, and that is a good point because I did. A lot of me wants to talk about white Christian conservatives. And technically, it's not. It's Christian conservatives. There are some black and brown people thrown into this group of
Mexican and Korean. The Christian conservatives of those two races love Trump. I don't know if they still love him, but they got him all.
But the problem is that whiteness is so intertwined into the narratives from the white Christian conservatives.
Yes.
So like you do want to lead it with that. That said, it's not a blanket.
Oh, all I'm trying to say is there are lots of... I don't want to discriminate against all the people of color who are also billionaires playing golf. So
or abide by white supremacist.
Yeah, I just wanted to put it out there. It's an equal opportunist if you're a billionaire to go play golf.
This, by the way, this is a big kind of Charlie Kirk kind of conversation that he would have a lot. Body language expert. Oh, so the Fox body language expert. He talks about how Trump is fucking Satan from the back. We've talked about this.
This made me laugh because I was like, they're listening to our podcast. They have a thought.
The Fox commentators like, I hope he is. I hope he's fucking from the back, and then just like, oh, I love him. So they're just this whole. They love that Trump is fucking Satan. Okay, Jesus goes to the shitty pop up. Here. Tariffs are introduced as a curse. Kind of an interesting thought there. And we can getting into Act 3 of the episode. You want to take a break? You want to keep pushing along? Okay. All right. Our boy, JD Tattoo Vance, my favorite character of the season. So demonically adorable. They're at the cement garden. I wanted to write this down because Trump mowed over the White House rose garden, put in some just like cement slab, and it's like, it's the little stuff like that. It's just like, what the fuck? This is so blatantly like demonic.
No, so I just read this in my book, which is called Our Little Share of Night. And they talk about like the matriarch of the family and how she hates beauty and wants to destroy beauty, and like they're very rich, and it's like, this is what wealthy women like to do. They like to destroy beauty. And then you think about, the MAGA face of like the women. It's like,
ooh, in episode 2.
Yeah. They've destroyed beauty in so many ways. And I'm not, I'm just saying, like, there's and maybe by beauty, I mean like the naturalness of the world, but also cement is, it's expensive. And here's there's a woman on TikTok who I always hear. I think she has like a podcast or something. She's just kind of this like understated woman, and she has a pretty good take on Trump. I can't think of her name right now, but she was talking about how Trump basically is being left to do the things that like an old retired man would do, like around their house. Like, he's not really in charge of anything. So he's doing things like designing the ballroom and like reconfiguring the rose garden, and like, it's just sort of like, that's what you let the alleged dementia rattled, unk essentially do.
Sitting there giving his opinion as if it's so incredibly important.
As if
although in this stance or this situation, it is unfortunately incredibly important.
Well, it's like, but that's not, again, conspiracy. It's not even a conspiracy. It's so well known. There's like 3 factions of people, three dark entities behind him that are tech. It's immigration, and it's Project 2025, and they're sort of running the show. And that's why they're like, when he starts getting too out of pocket, they say you'll start noticing Fox like disparaging him a little bit, and then all of a sudden like they'll get him back in line. And the video where I don't even think it's conspiracy at this point, the video that he gave yesterday, or the speech about Charlie, it's like AI. So
I saw a breakdown of that there were some indicators that it wasn't, but yeah.
I mean, it was
we haven't mentioned the rumors that he was dead. There was like this thing where it's like pizza deliveries in the area go up when
I don't think, look, God bless if the Lord has taken him,
my first post on Threads was like, if he is dead, we're getting AI Trump for the foreseeable future. I
think it's just like I can't even laugh at that, because I think it's true. And honestly, I think that's why Musk and why Thiel and all these tech guys want him in, because then I've thought this for a long time. They're going, like, AI is essentially running the show, which is why the insurance is being dictated by that. There's so many things that are being dictated by the algorithm, which is all, of course, based on historic numbers, which if I was a dude scientist, I would really subscribe to that, instead of thinking, God, there's a way that people might act differently. But that's just me.
What a wild time. I mean, going through all these things, and especially as 2 people that are constantly studying the day-to-days and then analyzing them in our own way, for some reason I'm not afraid. Like, there's so many reasons to be afraid the more you talk about it, and I'm not at all. So that's nice. I guess what you're talking about, the dark forces behind Trump. Like, I just wish that this kind of modern Christian conservative Trump lover would realize that they are the dark force. They're always talking about the dark forces of the world.
Again, they're the most unself-aware group of people. Yeah. And for that, and to that, I say I pray for them.
Sure. And, that said, that was a pretty gnarly thing to say. I get. But that said, I still love them all. End of the day, I'm not mad at you. I don't want you dead. I don't want you, I don't want anything bad to happen to you. I just want your decision making out of government effectively. That's what we want. We don't want anybody hurt. We just don't want you at the highest levels of power making decisions. We need you in your churches, in your circles, doing your thing, how you want to do it. But it's just, I don't know.
Look,
This is like
the
20.
people that they're representing them at the government level aren't who they say they are.
Oh, right, true.
So it's again
Yeah.
like they don't
But they're putting them there, though. Is
right,
my point.
but that's because under false pretenses, right? The guy's a big liar,
But that shows that the judgment's not fit.
Right, that's what I'm saying though.
Yeah,
They're not looking. They're looking for someone to guide them, and like we're at a time when there is no guide anymore. Like you really have to just. You can have coaches, you can have counselors, you can have all these things, but you can't have someone that makes your decisions for you. And it's like
AI.
Right, but and here's the thing is that for the longest time it was the right that was sounding the alarm about technology. Sure. Like the left thought they were fucking nuts. Right. And so like how can you be afraid? You're an idiot for me. And now it's like it's inevitable. Everyone's like, dude, like, this isn't great what's happening.
I mean, I'm going to do my small part to shit on AI and call it unnecessary where it is unnecessary in this kind of general, everybody uses it way. Can I ask it a question to write for me? Or like, I think that's all stupid and ridiculous personally, and I'll continue to be on that.
I think like that is the least of our work. I mean, like, yeah, there is going to be a gradual depreciation of like human consciousness, let's say. Like luckily I'll probably
the quote, there's going to be a
gradual depreciation of like the consciousness of human beings. It's going to be a bummer to watch, but I think if you don't outsource your shit to them, you're going to be fine. I'm more concerned of like people getting to, like, people always have been, you know, shouting or like getting on the soapbox about like death panels where it's like insurance, the state's going to decide who dies. Well, It's not the state, it's going to be the algorithm, guys. It's you know, so now apparently it's
Does
RFK.
the algorithm have empathy? Does AI have empathy?
No. I mean, and that's kind of there's like a beauty to like not having a side, right? But like there's also not in every situation.
Okay, let's get to this very interesting Act 3. Really exciting kind of Act 3. I found this as someone who's watched South Park for the last 27 years. This was a real moment for me. I really liked where this was going. I got excited watching this.
Okay.
JD Vance talking to Satan. Satan has his box. We're introduced to the box. Mm-hmm. Love a box. Love a Pulp Fiction-y style or a Seven style.
Mystery
What's
box.
in the box? Yeah. Why do you stay, JD Tattoo Vance asks Satan. Satan says he's forced to stay by the dark tides of destiny. These are some fucking powerful. I know this is just Matt and Trey writing, but goddamn, these words are good. Then Satan says, the secret... What's I saying? The secret none must know, and yet all will soon discover. I can feel the tides of change. The final showdown is upon us.
Who says that?
Satan. So... this is what a lot of the conservative right feels. They feel that we're at some, what
we are.
The what's the revelations, the moment of revelations of the Bible.
Yeah,
I think this is the time.
Yeah. There's
but the reality that we are, like you said, we are at a time like that in reality with what we're dealing with in a lot of ways.
We're at it. So here's
pivotal time.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's interesting because it's a paradox. On one side, we are like the human race has never been more threatened by each other, and then also by robot takeover. Right? Like there's a lot of that coming, but also like there's always the feeling that the world is going to end by every generation. I mean, it's
right.
So the idea and everyone.
There's always a feeling that the past was better, and there's always a feeling that the present is about to
we're
end.
doomed. And like this, and so like the show The Leftovers deals with this, where it's
great
like
show.
Just generations ago of like people on there you go.
Should that be our next show?
Yeah, could be. But on their rooftop waiting for the world to end, you know, like because that's what the prophecy said. And it's like, well, yeah, some guy who's known a lot previously gets up and says, well, this is surely the end.
We're at the girls' Labubu party. Butters shows up. Red answers the door. Butters has her coveted Labubu that she wanted. She freaks out. They go upstairs because they're going to do it.
Exciting. If by it
We
you
think
mean
it
play
means
with the
something.
labubus,
Right.
yeah.
We cut to Jesus in the car. He's coming down to confront Satan. I forget how that connected, but anyways, do it. We learn.
Oh, right.
Means demonic ritual, not not messing around. Darkness rolls in Trump and say, okay, so yeah, the darkness rolls in. So okay, the girls go up there. They're doing their demonic ritual. Butters thought he was gonna hook up, but no. Because the girls ask, "Can we?" Or Red says, "You want to come up and watch?" So we think it's like a very kind of porny,
right?
Like
a misdirect.
Kids these days,
Yeah.
like out of control. With
I will say,
porn culture type of thing.
If
That's
anyone's going to accidentally summon a demon, it will be teenage girls in their room because they think it sounds fun and they don't really believe in it. But like, it sounds
Ouija.
fun. Yeah,
Big Ouija's are a big teenage girl
the
thing.
girls love. Well, at least when I was in the '90s, back in the day, girls loved the idea of being a witch. Like that was,
Well, there's a very real kind of survey and statistical thing now is about. The beliefs of young men and the beliefs of young women and how polar opposite they are and how this is causing a lot of this panic and chaos.
I blame feminism.
And how having kids is the lowest priority for young women and the highest priority for young men. So this is when we get into this kind of authoritarian, conservative Christian takeover where we're like now handsmaid tailing women and forcing them to marry us and have kids, basically.
Right.
It's a very real thing.
Yes, happening. No, the Montauk Effect After Dark last year sort of started trafficking in this because my page on Instagram, because essentially, so we've talked about this a lot too because of the rise of incel culture, but dudes used to classically be allowed to go out and get educated or at least like make money, but now we understand that there's less money to be made by the average guy, and women are out pacing men in college and doing better. And when that happens, women have needed men historically for survival.
And now they don't. And men are starting to realize the way of the Amazon, which is like, unless you can find your way somehow, if you're just some average fucking dude that doesn't have money or looks or humor, like you're just some average guy, like no one cares. But you could also even be like, maybe a good-looking young conservative man that just educated women do not fuck with. They don't like who you are as personality, so that makes it harder too. Yeah, it makes it harder. It's so crazy because I always say like you can culture yourself out of this loophole. Like you are not doomed like AI might have you believe to like keep on reliving Groundhog's Day of your existence. Mm-hmm. You can change. You can change. You can get a hobby. You can learn the guitar. You can learn poetry. Like and these are all things that you can do, things that make a woman entertained, essentially, like because if you're no longer providing the survival basics for her, then what else can you add to her life? Because if women can, and a lot of the times women of a certain age, I know for me, I was in a relationship for like 13 years and I'm just like cool on that. Like I like the peace of my life now and because I did, there's a lot of reasons women might feel that way. Yeah. I honestly think I was very conditioned to just think this is like this is winning the game. Interesting. And that's great. That's your right as a human being. But then really, I think winning the game is having the privilege and understanding that like that's not the end all be all, and there's more to it than that. And there's a gap between how men appreciate women. Unfortunately, the gap is widening by the rhetoric that is being spread around, because instead of being like, oh yeah, we can just get better and get funnier or like start taking interest in this person as a human being and not just as a pair of tits, which is all, some women just like that too, but it's like taking interest in what they value. They go, no, women should not be allowed to have jobs. Women should not be educated. I'm being very, they need to expand their culture outside of hunting, UFC, and I don't know. I guess sports is one where we have kind of a common liberals.
You can like all of those things. It's just like also maybe watch an episode of The Real Housewives. You know what I'm saying? Like, and even if you don't like it, just like she'll sit there with you and watch the Dodger game. You know, like.
Well, here's the thing, and like guys like me that have always aligned with kind of the intellectual woman in so many ways, or the intellectual minority in so many ways. I'm cleaning up, not like in the sense I'm going around sleeping with everybody, but it's like. I have no problem meeting women and women really liking me.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, maybe just a little bit of a lesson. I mean, I coach a lot of young conservative men in this area. Mm-hmm. We follow each other on social, so they see everything that I post and stuff. And they watch it all. They don't say anything. They don't get mad at me. But, I don't know. Part in the back of my head, I'm like, I hope that this can... I'm not trying to change or tell you what to do, who to be, but like I'm providing a different point of view. Yeah. That you might... clean something from. I don't know. So
yeah.
I've been talking about myself a lot this podcast.
No, that's okay. That's good.
Darkness rolls in at the Labubu seance.
Sure.
That's a sentence I didn't expect to say this year. Trump and Satan appear. So they're the demons that appear at the seance. The locusts come. You know what I thought when you thought about like, or you mentioned something about like being reactionary to these things that are like foretold.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Someone, if they want, like, I could just imagine like a government official just like releasing a bunch of locusts somewhere or something to like, oh, the sign is coming, when it's just somebody doing that to make it seem like it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that gets to a bigger kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I don't want to sound like Marjorie Taylor Greene and like Jewish space lasers and they're controlling the weather, but like, there is potentially a sense of like control over some of these like biblical things that somebody could take advantage of.
Look, the reason that shit is wild is because there is a thing called cloud seeding, and they do use it.
Right.
They use it as to effectively like make sure that the crops are watered. And if you're thinking that even by accident, maybe that there's a natural balance to the way the world works. Maybe in some way, not intentionally, is causing some out of sync shit. Okay, like, and maybe that's what they're talking about is like you do one thing out of balance and then all of a sudden you've got frogs flying.
Butterfly effect.
Yeah, and it's like there's
the locust effect.
What is it that he said earlier about like the secret must not know, but all will see soon. Yeah. It's like that's it. It's like every choice, every action, everything matters. Not in a way that it's like it matters and is important to everyone, but everything we do affects everyone. It's impossible to deny that now.
Well, I guess if we're on this tip of like, you know, the tinfoil hatness of what happened with Kirk and shootings with Trump, like there is also, you know, there's a lot of concern out there, particularly on TikTok, about like, you know, these kind of false flags with UFOs where it's like, oh, they're just going to shoot some holograms in the sky that look like X, Y, and Z to kind of push a narrative. So it's like, it's all kind of tied together, and it's like, it's conspiratorial, but it's also now possible technically. So like, we can't just brush it off of like, this is impossible. It's like, we got to give kind of credence. There is intelligence behind conspiracy theories.
Absolutely.
The idiocy is if you're just like convinced in them. You know what I mean?
Look, okay, I've noticed this lately from a lot of people who I'm not sure if they come from the right or the left. I think they're people from the right but are like very moderate, and they're like, look, I don't believe in any conspiracy theory. I'm very like I'm set on the way that like people describe the JFK shooting, like I don't have any questions. And it's like, okay, that's a weird thing to say also, because it's like that it's the world exists in the gray area, and it's like like my dad, who is not a conspiracy guy at all, I remember just like watching the JFK movie by Oliver Stone like probably like 3 or 4 times when I was a kid, because he was just fat. He was a kid when it happened, and it's like, of course there are questions, right? And it wasn't like the internet was there, you know. There's
also, I forget, I posted, I came up with some term for this, but Trump saying that this is the radical left that killed Kirk. That is a conspiracy theory too.
It's also just a lie. We don't
call it right, but like that is just as much a conspiracy theory as someone saying that he did it. Like
right.
I just it's like it's one, like that side kind of gets away with their own conspiracies without them being called conspiracies.
Look, the right, I think. that's where I got like cut my teeth in conspiracy, is like learning it from the right, because the left has the media and the right has the internet. And like when you really get down to like who is making so much of the content on the right, that's like anti-government, a lot of the big time like far leaning leftists have been radicalized by the right. They just have like strong values in one way or another that they were unwavering on. The internet radicalizes people, and you have to wonder like who put it out there. And it's not like hard once you start like seeing the themes to be like, oh yeah, these people are afraid. They're afraid of a world that they can't control. And it's not the left who's afraid. The left doesn't want to see things happen. The left is too busy trying to fight for the rights and liberties of people that are in safety. Like they're busy. The right is afraid.
And education.
Right. Yeah. And so that's how I would kind of sum it up, is the right has a little more time on their hands for lots of reasons.
Oh, and that's why people like me are their worst nightmare. It's like, get a job, dude. What are you out here protesting during the day for?
Yeah.
You don't have a job, loser? Oh, I have, like, the most common response on TikTok I see is like, oh, I have a job. What did I miss? When it comes to these, like, here, motherfucker, I have the time. Like,
right. Well, and also the way you spend your time. Sadly, in this economy, a lot of people don't have jobs anymore, and they are
not by choice. Mine's by choice.
No, I understand that, but I'm just saying it's like a lot of people's. I always feel like, well, yeah, you have to have time and desire to sort of like understand and sort of like a correct, I guess, inner navigation of how things,
and some saving/inheritance.
Yeah, privilege. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, let's get. I love the angles we're going here. This is probably my favorite episode we've ever done so far. Let's wrap this up. Locust, Jesus, and Lucifer, the biblical showdown. Satan is bound to Trump. We're together, he says. I can't leave him. And he reveals what's inside of the box. Satan is pregnant.
Yes, the butt baby.
He says, I'm forced. So in the box is the pregnancy test. Satan says, I'm forced to stay in this situation for several more years.
It's so funny that Satan feels the need that he can't abort or like leave.
Satan doesn't believe in abortion.
Yeah, Satan's anti-abortion.
Makes more sense, honestly.
Yeah. Truly.
So we have the demonic pregnancy, the butt baby. Fox News explains how Satan could give birth to a baby and it's through his butt. They say, demonic pregnancies work a little differently. They're celebrating the fact that they've verified that Satan, or Trump, is fucking Satan. Kid Rock gets on there sobbing in joy because he's so happy that it's been revealed. Did that make you kind of think of like the trans issues a little bit, and like how men can't have babies, this whole thing?
Well, okay.
Or no, am I reaching?
No. I don't think you're reaching. Black's Law is like the law dictionary, and it's had many iterations. And like 1,000 years ago, there was one that described a monster as a baby that was born by C-section. So anything that's not born vaginally, right? And so the butt baby, Satanists love to invert things. So if we're gonna invert the vaginal birth, then we're going to have a butt baby.
No one ties things together like you, Amy. It's really genius.
I just know a lot about dumb shit. So thank you, internet.
Sorry, I cut you off.
No, you're good. So the butt baby is a satanic virtue.
So final scene, we're back in the school with Counselor Jesus. And, Butters and Red are there. And they're like, he's telling them that they need to be safe. It's your normal kind of like sex talk with the counselor. But this is about... Labubu's and demons and TikTok. So Jesus bans TikTok and Labubu's and cell phones. And then as Red and Butters walk out, and I want to discuss this line to close this out. They say that the Counselor Jesus is better than the last guy. The last guy was Mackie. He's like, okay.
I thought they said the last guy was better than Jesus.
No.
Oh.
They're saying Jesus is better than the last guy.
Oh. Huh?
So that's, as for Matt and Trey to write that, I'm like, what are they getting at with that line, that closing line to this episode? And I think you nailed it when you said Jesus is not the principal. He's not meant to be a leader. He's meant to be a counselor. So maybe that's what they were getting at. Like, this is, you guys, you Christian conservatives need to re-fucking wire and look at how you look at Jesus, how you define him, and who he is. And I think that's incredibly true.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on this closing scene or this whole episode? Or
this episode was interesting. I did not have to watch it 3 times to sort of get all the political stuff, which I think is actually better because it left
refreshing,
more.
Right?
Yeah.
It's been an easier conversation.
Well, that, and also it's just like, it's not about politics. Really, the politics are about evil and like, or about, we're kind of at a time where that's what it feels like, at least if you feel strongly for one side or the other. I know that a lot of people can hurl the word evil across the aisle. I would just like to say that probably both sides are evil, and it's not because they're inherently evil. It's because when we start looking at things in duality, we've missed the mark, and we are all one, and we have to not demonize the other side, nor should we lionize them. We just need to understand that we all have to live here together. And unfortunately, while we have someone that proposes that they are the authority, the elect in charge, like a president, we will be divided into 2 sides, and we can all choose at any time to see past that illusion. But until then, we don't recognize each other on each side as human.
Brilliant way to end. We are all one. That is what a obvious in a way and necessary way to move forward at this point in history. I was just named on the board of the Democratic Action Club of Chico.
Hell
so
yeah.
Our job's going to be to get Democrats elected in Butte County. I love that as a political slogan. We are all one.
I love that.
It's phenomenal. So
it's
thank
good.
you.
Yeah,
Can I use that?
I mean, it's only been said by every spiritual speaker since the beginning of time.
Just like Make America Great and
I counsel Jesus, so we are all one.
Alrighty. Living Directors podcast is on YouTube. We're getting a little more motion on there, which is nice. Nothing obviously big yet, but whatever. We don't care about numbers. We just are here to give you the best combo and analysis that we can, and things will fall into place. You can follow us on Instagram at Living Directors and Facebook too. I'm liking our Instagram and YouTube's, and of course Apple and Spotify. We are an audio only podcast. I'm a big fan of the audio only format, even though I got to pivot to video in some other ways. I like that we keep an audio only pod here.
I do too.
Really like it. Anything you want to plug, Amy, before we get out of here?
You can check me out on The Montauk Effect with an A, or The Montauk Effect After Dark, or She's Amy D at Instagram.
All right. Thank you so much. As always, this was a great talk today.
Have a labubu day. Bye.